Hey everyone, Fire Sticks Dave here. Welcome to the Pub Crawl with Herbie and Angry Phil.
It's been very early in the NBA season, but have you noticed anything interesting that you want to talk about specifically?
Well, it's been early in the NBA season, but if you include the offseason, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
So, Damian Lillard to the Bucks. James Harden just got traded to the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
Boston
Drew Holiday.
got Drew Holiday and Porzingis. Even go earlier in the offseason, Golden State got Chris Paul. So there's a lot of shaking around. The Lakers signed Christian Wood, Taurean Prince, re-signed D'Angelo Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Re-signed Austin Reeves. So they added. Phoenix made a big trade in the Chris Paul deal, got Bradley Beal, and then the Lillard trade, Phoenix was a part of it, and then they added Grayson Allen, Yusuf Nurkic, two very good role players in my opinion. I don't care what anyone says about Grayson Allen. We all know he's a tool, but the man can play some basketball, so
He's scrappy and he can shoot.
yeah, he's a 3-and-D guy. He's a lot of people think just because he's, an average height white boy, he's not athletic, but he's super athletic. So there's been a lot of stuff going on. We're not going to talk directly about the Bulls per se tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We'll more so talk about just what do we think about the Eastern Conference the way it lays out now, and what do we think about the Western Conference the way it lays out now after the offseason moves and the early season starts, and go from there.
So, what I've noticed so far, the Celtics look really, really good right now with Porzingis and Holiday. Porzingis is playing out of his mind right now, I think.
Well, going into the season,
Yeah.
because of the way the last season ended, it was Milwaukee, Boston, I think still 1 and 2 in terms of the best teams in the East.
Okay.
Miami made an amazing run. Hats off to them. Playoff Jimmy showed up, and the rest of the gang contributed, and then Philadelphia did their best, but they came up short. But Boston, I think, knew that they had to improve, and get more scoring help for Tatum and Brown. And Porzingis, when healthy, his whole career,
Yeah.
New York, Dallas, Washington, the man puts the ball in the hoop.
Yes.
He's 7'3", shoots at a 40 to 45% three-point clip. He is underrated defensively. And then, at 7'3", when he does decide to go on the block, it's a mismatch.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that was a great move for them. And then I thought what was even more genius by Brad Stevens was when Lillard gets to the Milwaukee. So Holiday's not staying in Portland because Portland's god-awful. He said, all right, let's make another move. And now let's bring in a guy, Malcolm Brogdon. You're good. We appreciate you. Thanks for your contribution last year. Now I'm going to get me a leader, a guy who's won a championship, and is possibly the best on-ball defender for point guards in the entire NBA, and Drew Holiday. So they are off to a great start, and I think they can beat you either way. They can outscore you, or they can lock you down defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Then now Horford comes off the bench, and they still have Payton Pritchard coming off the bench. Derek White moves into the starting lineup, and that was an amazing trade they made 2 years ago when they got him from San Antonio.
True.
So, no, Boston looks great right now. They have to be the favorite for the East only because of the quick start they're off to. Don't get me wrong, Milwaukee's going to be there because Milwaukee has Giannis and they have Damian Lillard, two of the top 5 players in the league. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe top 10 depending on how you view Damian Lillard. And then they have to get acclimated to each other because any good team, when you get superstars, as good as it looks on paper, it still takes time.
Sure.
So-
But like from Boston went as far as they could with that core. The previous core was Smart, Brogdon, Robert Williams, Horford starting. When they got Porzingis, they changed the outlook of the team. Like they're giving you something different, right? And then they had a Holiday, right? Because people were worried about Marcus Smart being gone, the defense loses some defense on the perimeter. But Derek White elevated last year, and they realized that Marcus Smart was kind of expendable.
Yep.
So getting Porzingis changed the outlook, and then they get someone back in the form of Marcus Smart, but a better version of him in Holiday.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like those two moves a lot. They lost a lot of depth, though. So they lost Robert Williams, Marcus Smart, Brogdon.
Those are the main guys, yeah.
Those are the main guys. And then, Horford coming off the bench now. Pritchard is going to play a prominent role. He wasn't even playing that much when they had all those guards.
No.
So, a lot of I want to say borderline second string, third string guys are going to be elevated. Hauser, right? He's another guy that's going to get more minutes. So, I'm looking at the score right now. They're winning by 17 after the first quarter.
And this
Is that
gonna
the
be
first fucking quarter?
That's the first quarter. And this is going to be their second straight or second out of 3 games where they scored 40-plus points in the first quarter.
That's crazy.
Yeah, great. Granted,
And still playing good defense. Giving up 27 in the first quarter is pretty good nowadays in the NBA. But, they're playing the Pacers, and that's a good up-and-coming team. But, yeah, I think Boston is by far the best team in the East. They're Milwaukee with Holiday. They're losing Holiday and replacing with Damian Lillard. I don't know if that was an equal move. I think it was an upgrade in terms of scoring, but they are a different team now with the defense. There's a lot less defense in Milwaukee.
well, right now, what they did by basically getting Lillard instead of Drew Holiday is they said, come playoff time, we need someone to take the load off Giannis. Mm-hmm. We need someone who can say, hey, we need a bucket, we need a three-pointer, we need to, keep Giannis in a one-on-one matchup. Damian Lillard's that guy. And they're basically saying, we know it's going to be a work in progress. We know we may not win 60 games this year. We may win 62 games this year or 64 games this year. We may only win between 50 and 55. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where we're 50-50 wins in the 5 seed or 58 wins in the 2 seed. We're still going to be good to go. So now it's the job of the head coach to make sure that he just gets that team right. Because Damian Lillard, Dame time's real. Okay. And Giannis, he's real. So I get the move on their part. They definitely put him up there as a title contender. And right now, based off how it looks after a week and a half, as the second team in the East, it just will take time. And they lost a lot of depth. Pat Connaughton's going to have to step up. Malik Beasley's going to have to be a consistent three-point shooter.
Yeah.
I thought what really hurt them was losing Grayson Allen because he just is very versatile. He's a two-way player. But, in the playoffs, you really only play 7 or 8 guys. So if you can get a rotation of 7 or 8 guys, maybe find some at the trade deadline to help with Lillard and Antetokounmpo. They can be right there. Jay Crowder has to play well. Bobby Portis has to play. All the guys outside of Giannis and Damian have to stay healthy and play well. All right?
Yeah. And then I was also going to say, they need Middleton to step up. He's still showing that he's not fully back healthy, I think.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if they're load managing him. I know he's missed a game so far. There's been 3 or 4 games, and he had to sit out.
Yeah.
And he's not playing a lot of minutes. I don't know if he's going to be the same player, but
No, I think it's already obvious after that title run they made where Middleton at times was the best player on the court. And I think that's another reason why they went for Damian Lillard. They don't see Middleton as that player anymore. So I think they just have to see him as a 12 to 16-point guy, a guy who shoots consistently, a guy who can be the number 2 guy on the court when he's either playing with Lillard and the other guy's resting or playing with Giannis while Damian's resting, or just be a steady, consistent scorer when all 3 are together. But I think we agree that those are the 2 best teams. Real quick before we sum up this part of the NBA segment, what else anybody else you like in the East? We mentioned James Harden being traded to the Clippers.
yeah. So
Philadelphia's a question mark. Miami, really, didn't do much in the offseason.
Lost a lot of guys because they were waiting on Dame.
Yeah.
And that never happened. And, you know, they lost Vincent, Strus.
Yeah.
That's, you know, I think if they didn't have a chance with Dame, they would have never let those guys go. They cleared the cap space for Dame and they didn't get him. So now they lost a lot of depth for just no reason. And they can't replace those guys because we know that re-signing your own guys is easy because you can go over the cap to do that. You can't do that with unrestricted free agents. So they took a big risk, and I was shocked that they didn't get them. And now Miami is forced to find these under-the-radar gem-type
Once
players
again.
once again. They might come through again because that's how good of an organization they are. But the fact that they have to do it again, that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, but I think right now the East is basically extremely top-heavy because Toronto's a consistent playoff team the last handful of years, but they lost Van Fleet. Like you said, we mentioned Miami losing Vincent and Strus, who are very, very good players for them all last year and in the playoffs especially. And then Philadelphia's just that wild card team after losing Harden, you know, and not getting back much in terms of superstar level. What can they do? And, you know, in terms of piling up wins and then making moves at the trade deadline to compete with Milwaukee and Boston.
So, Western Conference.
Western Conference, the deeper conference.
The deeper conference.
Yeah. I think it starts with the champs. Mm-hmm. Okay. But then after that, you got probably 4 or 5 teams for sure that on any given night can beat them, and then if healthy and if playing well can beat them in a series, in my opinion. And Denver's Denver. They're off to a good start. They're confident. They have the best player in the league right now, Jokic. They got Jamal Murray, who just amazes you every freaking playoffs. And then they brought back pretty much the same core. So I think
Aaron Gordon, Pope, and then Michael Porter.
Yep.
That starting five is ridiculous. They can beat you in so many different ways. They can, Aaron Gordon, great complementary player to Jokic because of his versatility on defense and the pressure of not being, living up to his draft status and everything. They know how to use him. And he's playing freely, I think, in Denver.
Well, no. So Aaron Gordon, we're not going to talk a lot about him, but we'll give him 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I believe is the number 4 pick overall out of Arizona. Went to the Orlando Magic. Okay. And he's super athletic, slasher, but he's not a go-to guy.
No.
He's not a 25-point-a-night guy. He's a guy who can make the three at probably a 30 to 35% clip. He can slash. He can crash the boards.
Yes.
And it's exactly like you said. He's a complimentary player, and he's perfect with Jokic, and he's perfect for that team. And that's what helped them become the NBA champs last year and still makes them the best team in the league right now because of it.
He puts up he doesn't put in amazing stats, but he does all the stuff that you need from a winning team, getting that extra offensive rebound because of his athleticism.
Yeah.
He can dunk the ball. He can clear the basket.
Yeah.
Make things easier.
Help defending on the other side,
Yes.
All of a sudden you get a block and we thought it was an easy layup or an easy jumper, And that's great. He's one of those guys that can make the better players in the league, like Durant or LeBron or, Giannis if he's playing them. Jimmy Butler, wing players. He can defend them because he's so strong, so athletic. And then you're not going to stop those guys by any means, but it just makes it more difficult for them.
Yeah.
And then everybody has their role. It's like Jamal and Pope compete defensively, hit your threes. Jokic just does everything.
Yeah.
And then the only thing about the Nuggets is they lost Bruce Brown, who was a very big part of them. But they have a guy, that Dave will like, in Christian Brown, out of Kansas, who can definitely step in and take over that role.
He can.
Super athletic, and national champion, I believe, at Kansas. And he played well for them in the finals. In the playoffs. And it was just like with Peyton Pritchard. He only got 10, 15 minutes, but when he got 10, 15 minutes, he contributed.
Yes.
So you got to expect Denver to be there. Who do you like besides Denver in the West?
Yeah, and then just one more thing about Denver. Last year they picked up Reggie Reggie Jackson, he didn't play that much in the
yes, that's
playoffs.
right.
So he's going to have a more prominent role coming off the bench instead of starting. So I think that's going to be huge going into the playoffs for them. Now, the other teams that I do like, it's really tough for me to say. I like to see how the Kings do this year after taking Golden State to 7, and they're so young. They didn't really make a lot of additions. It's probably how much have they grown as players because they're such a young team. So that's one team that stands out. Phoenix, I think, is going to be right there if they're fully healthy. If Beal and Durant can stay healthy with those role players that they picked up in the trade for the Lillard trade, I was actually watching them play yesterday against the Spurs, and like they don't have Beal and Booker, but they've been playing well without them.
Yeah.
I know they lost to the Spurs, which is crazy because they had like a
20 points.
yeah, they had like a 20-point lead, and it's crazy how they came back. But besides that point, I like a lot of the pieces they picked up, and 2 of those guys are going to be on the bench. So Grayson Allen, what was the other dude? Oki?
Yeah.
Okor?
No,
Or no.
Okokie.
Okokie.
Or
Yeah.
we probably have his name, mispronounced. We apologize.
Yeah.
But he's a very. Those are 2 good wing players. Yusuf Nurkic is a very good big man. He's played in Portland for a long time on those good teams when McCollum was there and when Lillard was there.
Yep. He can rebound.
He can rebound, and
He's not going to complain like Aiden,
No.
who wanted the ball and have plays designed for him. Like he's there to rebound, play good defense, maybe finish around the basket a few times, but nothing's built around him offensively. He's there to do 2 things: play defense and get rebounds, and that's what he does very well. So he fits very well on that team. And then I'm interested in seeing how Booker and Beal are in the backcourt because they both can handle the ball and play make. So they don't really need a Chris Paul, but I'm still wanting to see how that meshes, but I think it's going to mesh pretty well.
Well, I think very similar to Milwaukee in the East. Phoenix is another team that's going to be there. It just all depends on how they gel. They have Frank Vogel, and he was coming over from LA, and he did a good job during the pandemic year of getting the Lakers together to gel together and led them to a title. So Frank Vogel's not a bad coach. I love Phoenix. Like if I had to pick right now and, put money down like I've been known to do, I would pick the Phoenix to... Huh? Yeah, me? Yeah, not me. I would pick Phoenix to come out of the West, and then I would even take it a step further and pick Phoenix to win it all. But that's only depending on if they stay healthy.
Yeah.
Because they are a veteran-led group. Durant's old in terms of wear and tear on his body. His skill level is still elite. Bradley Beal, talking about making bang for the amount of work you put in is unreal. Has not been able to stay healthy, but the man is still an exceptional player. And Devin Booker, he's very similar to Jamal Murray. He just takes his game to another level.
Yeah.
When he has to. So the 3 of them, I love the combination. And then, like we said a couple times already, just the core. You got your big 3, and then you got Okokie, then you got Grayson, then you got Eric Gordon, who we haven't mentioned.
Oh my God, yeah, Eric Gordon, and he's been looking good in the starting lineup.
Spotting up.
Nice.
Just spotting up.
Yep,
and
that's what he's good at.
Yeah, and when healthy, he technically may come off the bench.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. And then Nurkic is like that. That's a good 8-man rotation, 9-man rotation.
Watanabe.
Watanabe, yes.
Watanabe, sorry. Watanabe. He can shoot the 3.
Yeah, and he was very good in Brooklyn. So they just did a great job of making that team well-rounded once they got the trade and got the big 3.
They also have a backup point guard, Goodwin. He's pretty good too. Yeah. And they're not going to ask him to do much except distribute the ball. Like I really like the depth on this team.
Yeah.
Where I didn't see that last year, and it looked like they had to rely on Booker and Durant to carry the load, and that Durant can't do that at this point. Like he shouldn't be playing a lot of heavy minutes.
Well, no. Hopefully,
Cheers to Phil knowing backup point guards.
we know our stuff a little bit.
Probably because of gambling.
Well, that definitely goes into
and Goodwin fucked me last night. I had him at 10 points in the same game parlay. He had 6 with a quarter and a half left.
I
and
thought we
never
were
got
get-
back in there.
I thought we were gonna get through a couple episodes and not hear a bad beat story from Phil.
No, I
really thought we were going
Yeah,
to.
I wish I had a good. I wish I had a good bet that it's been pretty bad lately.
Don't worry, coming though soon and
Never changed.
coming soon in future segments. We're gonna.
I like a good run for like 4 months.
Yeah,
But
we'll have
that
a
doesn't seem to happen.
We'll have a Hervey and Phil's best bet, I think, coming soon with
I hope so.
yeah, and then we'll tally and see how we do going forward. But that's gonna be a new segment. For
Yeah,
us.
but going back, you got Denver, Phoenix. I said the Kings because they're young. They took Golden State to 7. You got to include Golden State in there, right? Because Steph Curry still looks really, really good.
All right, let me just real quick go to the Kings thing. Yeah, Kings are an interesting team because they were the number 3 overall seed. I think those are the young up and comers, guys who came and played hard every night. Because you're kind of like one or two teams right now in the NBA. You're either older and experienced and wanting to rely on that to win, or you're younger and up and coming. So the Kings, I think, are a little bit of a wild card. Darren Fox is already going to miss some time, so I think they might get off to a slow start. Golden State. They're Golden State. They added a veteran Chris Paul. Question mark, will he stay healthy? Draymond Green's already hurt to start the season. But Draymond Green actually made a very good point, which what I liked, to where they just get on a roll. Golden State's always going to be a threat with Steph Curry. He said, Chris Paul will allow us to play more versatile. He said, we were a one-trick pony last year.
Yeah.
He said, we were only going to win by the 3. With Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry, it's basically either we're scoring 120, 125 and beating you, or we're not. We're losing by scoring 110. So I like that. I like them to be there. They're just so deep. And then the Clippers now getting James Harden, another team that you expect to be there, another team though that's injury dependent. Can Kawhi stay healthy? Can PG-13 stay healthy? One of my favorite players ever. Makes me dislike, even though I respect the hell out of him, Derrick Rose a little bit because he missed a lot of games. Russell Westbrook's always going to be there. The man's reliable. He's a bulldog. He may not be the most skilled player in terms of shooting, and
He's worth so much.
yeah, but he's going to give you everything you got. So you got to give the Clippers a shot there.
I want to say that I want to get more into the Clippers and Lakers, though. Those are the two teams that I'm kind of on the fence right now. But the West is really deep. And surprisingly, Memphis is 0-4. I don't know if you noticed that.
But Memphis is a team there. I think they're missing Brandon Clark right now.
And-
They're obviously missing John Morant.
Yep.
And I think Steven Adams is out for the year.
Yeah, Memphis is missing Morant. They're missing Brandon Clark. Brandon Clark's supposed to come back this year?
I know, was it an Achilles or was it ACL? It was something serious.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to come back. That Steven Adams being out for a year before the season started, announcing that's a huge hit. Lakers I'm a little worried about because LeBron, he's another year older, and he's on a minutes restriction. I noticed that they were mentioning that, and they want to keep him to 28 to 32, and, after the first game, he was like, no, I got to be in there because they honestly needed him to finish some games. And, one game was against Phoenix. He was at the 32-minute mark, and he played a whole fourth quarter. He ended up playing close to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can limit him and still win and make the playoffs. In the East, I think he could have got away with it, but I don't think he can do that in the West.
Well,
too many teams are good enough to make the playoffs. It's going to be a dogfight to make the playoffs.
Well, so this is the only thing that might be able to allow them to get away with the minutes restriction is because Jay Williams actually made that point on ESPN. It's kind of funny when you have to play LeBron James the entire fourth quarter against a Phoenix team without Booker and Beal, and you barely win. But he goes, so that doesn't bode well for the Lakers. But the thing about the West, which what we
That's a
mentioned,
good point.
is last year the Lakers were a 6 or 7 seed, won their matchup. Again, no, they were the 7 seed. They beat Memphis. The Warriors were a 6 seed, and they beat the 3 seed Kings.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the 5 seed beat the 4 seed. So all these teams,
Yeah.
there's so much talent, and a majority of them outside the Kings are veteran players. Just let's talk about the players right now we have in the West. Jokic, Murray, all right, LeBron, AD. Mm-hmm. The big three. They're definitely the best by far.
Durant, Booker, Beal.
Booker, Beal.
Yeah.
You know, Harden, George, Westbrook.
Yeah.
4 Hall of Famers on one team. Paul George, you know, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, James Harden. Okay, they all feel if we get in and we play our game, we can do it. And one team we haven't even mentioned who's off to a great start, who's undefeated, the Dallas Mavericks. They cashed it in. They packed it in. They're off to an undefeated start. And they got Kyrie, who is arguably the best one-on-one player in the league from the guard position. Okay? And then they have Luka, who can on any given night can be the best player. The West is just loaded. And they go 6-7 teams deep. Then I'm for sure confident because of the skill level of those players. If we're healthy, if we're playing well, we can win it all.
Yeah.
And it's going to be we're obviously saying it's going to be playoffs because of all the good teams, but it's really a lot of good teams.
No, that's a lot of good teams.
Like-
and I like that. I like that it's so competitive in the West that the playoffs is not a given. And by mind you, they got the playing games and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I do want to see the Kings. I want to see how they develop. They're so fun to watch, but I'm worried that they're not. I don't know how much better, say, like Sabonis is going to be because saw him in the first few games, still having the same issues. He can't hit free throws, and his mid-range is, it could be good one night, and it could be just, not really good in another night. Gets into foul trouble easily. How can he elevate himself? Like, De'Aaron Fox, you know what you're going to get out of him. And, I mean, I don't want to say he peaked, but, he's as good as it gets out there. So, it's all about the other guys, like the Murray.
Yep. No, it's about the guys taking the next step because De'Aaron Fox is De'Aaron Fox. Mm-hmm. You need Malik Monk to be what Malik Monk was for them last year. Amazing off the bench. I believe he was #1 NBA in scoring off the bench.
Yeah.
And then it's all about the young guys. Can Keegan Murray become a 16 to 20-point guy, shoot 45% from 3, stretch the floor? Can Sabonis still do everything he does on the block? Chris Duarte was a part of the trade with Tyler.
I like that pickup for them.
Yeah. But he hasn't done much. Kevin Huerta, he was very good in Houston. He's there. Can they stretch the floor? Can they shoot the 3-ball at a high clip with those 3 guys and let De'Aaron Fox be that dude when, okay, it's a 4-point game going into the 4th. Give me the ball. Let me take over. Let me do me.
Yeah.
Let me go toe for toe with Steph Curry like he did in the playoffs last year. Let me go toe for toe with James Harden or, Kawhi. Let me go toe for toe with Devin Booker because he's shown he can do that.
Yes.
And we always joke about this. Mm-hmm. Where do you go to school?
Kentucky.
So, if you're a baller, which a lot of these guys are in the Western Conference, they went to Kentucky, they went to high-level programs, they're used to it. So Sacramento's going to be that team. I think they're going to finish somewhere probably 5-6, possibly play-in tournament, only because Fox already being hurt. A lot of teams realizing how good they are now and possibly not taking them for granted. Because whenever you thought about the Sacramento Kings for many, many years, damn near 2 decades, except outside of the Peja, Weber, Vlade, Bibby group, they were trash.
They were trash, yeah.
Yeah.
They were always in the lottery.
They've been trash since that group, I should say.
Yeah, exactly.
But now they're for real. So teams now have to realize Kings are on the schedule. This is a game we got to get up for.
Yeah, and that's another thing. They finished as a 3 seed, and they won the division. Mm-hmm. Like now people know about them. So how well do you perform with expectations now, right? Yep. Because you're not going to be a surprise anymore. Everyone knows who you are. There's plenty of game film on you. We're going to see. And but they're really exciting to watch. I love De'Aaron Fox. I love Sabonis. Keegan Murray. Kevin, they all can shoot threes. I like the pace they play with. Mike Brown's a great coach as well.
He's a very good coach.
So I like it, and he embraces the fast pace and everything. So I really do like it.
And Mike Brown, he's been there, done that. He was the head coach in those early LeBron years. When they were the #1 seed, the #2 seed, winning 60-something games a year. He was the assistant coach on those Golden State teams that were winning. So they're in a good spot. And they're obviously, if they can get a superstar or two, not looking too far ahead, we're talking about this year.
Yeah.
They can get another superstar to pair with De'Aaron Fox, and then maybe get another Jim late in the first round or mid-first round based off wherever they draft. This is a team that could take over the West.
They could.
Because
They could be the next Denver.
They could be the next Denver.
Yeah, because you remember Denver, everyone talked about how talented they were. Even in the bubble, they almost beat the Lakers. It was very, very close. But the Lakers' experience closed it out. But we knew that Murray and Jokic were coming, they finally reached that pinnacle, right?
Well, they made the moves. They got in. They got Bruce Brown. They got Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon, yep.
They got Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
Yep.
And I'm sure we're missing a couple players because we're just, throwing off the top of our heads.
Yeah.
But so Sacramento needs to do that. We want them to do well. We didn't talk much betting tonight, but we want to watch that 9 o'clock game, and then hope for the over 237.5, But
What, the Kings Lakers?
Kings anything. But no.
And we love that they play late because you're chasing that money at that halftime or the 9 p.m.
Everybody listening knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Don't
act like you don't.
Yeah, but no, the West is gonna be fun to watch. The NBA is just gonna be fun to watch.
Especially because the Bears suck.
Yes, yeah, exactly. We don't have much to hope for. Honestly, the only thing we have to hope for right now, we didn't get into the Bulls tonight. We'll touch them on next.
I don't know if we want to.
Yeah, we don't want to. Yeah, right now Chicago sports is terrible. Right now, all we really have to look forward to is
Tell us about hockey.
Well, honestly,
joking,
I can't.
Phil. We are not getting into
but
hockey
honestly,
right now.
though, I do want to point this out. Bedard's making me a hockey fan, though. I can stand to watch the Blackhawks. Yeah, it's very odd. It's very, very odd. It's unorthodox, as they would call it. But I'm starting to become a fan, though. Just
Sounds
because
like
a lot.
Phil's betting on Bedard shots.
No,
on
I'm
goal.
not. I'm not. But I should. I think he's averaged like 4 to 5. He's been money, literally. But yeah, I'm excited for the NBA though. Every time NBA comes around, I've always loved basketball first, and then like football kind of took over, and now the Bears are making me hate football. So, and I saw the Cubs win the World Series, so baseball took kind of a back burner, I guess, the back seat. But man, I've always watched NBA no matter what, consistently, no matter how much the play has changed since Jordan was around and stuff. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of good storylines, a lot of big trades happen. So we're going to find out who's going to be a real contender.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to Players Pub and Grill. We spend our times here a lot, watching a lot of sporting events, and they're letting us do this. And me and you, I mean, we love doing this. We do this for fun. Well, what we do right now, we talk on a regular basis, hang out here, have beers, watch all these sporting events, see all these, crazy games, exciting games, bad games too.
Yeah.
Like it's fun, and this is what we like to do. We're passionate about it. So
No, we like to do it, and we're doing the spot we like to go to. Players in Prospect Heights, right there at River Road in Milwaukee. They got whatever you want if you're a sports fan or you just want to get out for a night. They got gambling, obviously. They got horse racing, sports betting, slots. They got good food, and it's just a chill environment. UFC on Saturday nights every week, Saturday during the day. Just a good time. You want to get out with your girl, just have a drink or two. You just want to get out with your boys and have a guys' night and, throw it back and watch a ball game. We're good to go. It's a great spot to go to.
yeah, shout out to Players.
Sure. Like you said, looking forward to the NBA season. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.
Appreciate it. Take it easy, guys.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, it's already stopped.
Yeah, I'm excited.